Well, that's right, good people. Right above my head here is a bird feeder. And if you're looking for a way to get rid of insects in your garden, whether it's grasshoppers or even slugs or any number of other little critters that are going to come in and destroy your crops, there are a few things better than birds to get the job done for you. And this bird feeder is filled with seeds. Cracked corn, milo, millet basically, a few sunflowers, things of that nature. And this attracts the small seed-eating birds, finches, and wrens, chickadees, and yeah, you'll get some redbirds coming in here for those too. The interesting thing is, although they'll eat the seeds early on in the spring, whenever they start making babies, they catch insects to feed to their young. And that's why you want to have those kind of birds around. Well, hello there, good people. Hi, I'm Jason with Green Country Agroforestry, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about saving money and, well, saving your garden. Now, you might be inclined to go out to the grocery store, or farm and ranch store, or box store, or wherever it is you go, and buy materials, and that's fine whenever you're just getting started. But over time, you may discover that instead of relying upon being able to go to the store and purchase some of the things you need, it might be prudent to do things like plant a patch of clover if you want to have a high nitrogen supply to feed to your garden. Or, instead of going out and buying insecticides, find ways that you can incorporate the already occurring natural systems that are in place to help you fight pests. One of those I'm getting ready to show you right now. Can you see it from there? It should look that way. Alright. I can tell from looking at the ground here that the birds have been visiting this feeder, and of course they've eaten quite a bit of it, so yeah, so far so good. This is a little bit different style feeder from the ones I have in the other parts of the yard, but they all work pretty much the same way. You fill the hopper with seeds. There you go. And the lid down on top of it so no bad stuff happens. It keeps the rain out. And then through these little tiny holes here, the birds will be able to land, perch, and eat the seeds right out of the feeder at their leisure. You just hang that from a branch under a tree where they would like to go roost. And that's that. Now let me show you something else real quick, if you don't mind. You don't mind, do you? Let's go take a look at this over here. Another little feature that you want for attracting your Air Force. Although you have to fill them up, bird baths are a great way to attract birds as well, because birds, like everything else, needs food, water, and, well, shelter. So we take care of the food over there, we take care of the water over here. And check this out. If I put a brick or something else in the middle here, I can do fun things like this. Get my snails that pop up, or slugs, whenever I find them, and laying out a strip of wood like this over the ground and turning it over first thing in the morning is a great way to capture slugs. You put them on top of that brick in a shaded location like this is for, most of the day anyway. And you leave them out there. Whenever the birds come in to investigate, they'll land here, they'll drink the water, and they'll see these little critters crawling around there, and eventually they'll get curious and decide to take a taste. Now, typically the birds that you're going to see that are going to eat snails already are members of the thrush family, things like bluebirds. Hopefully they have some of those nesting in your garden as well. But once they've tried them, all the other birds too will discover that they love eating slugs. And once you do that, slugs, no longer a problem. Go. Nowhere to go. Since the brick is surrounded by water on all four sides, this little mollusk has nowhere to go. I'm just going to throw a bit of water out there so he doesn't dehydrate. Don't want to be cruel to him until he becomes dinner. Put that in there. Here's another one of our bird waterers. Of course, these have to be filled up fairly regularly. They could be dry, bone dry, a day after it rains. So that every day you need to come out and add some water to them, either with a bucket or with a hose. The hose stretches this far, of course, this being the front yard. And I wanted to show you a little feature here. Of course, I got the block here in the middle. There we go. We got the block here in the middle that we can put our slugs and snails on. Shoot, may as well see if I've got any nearby that I can Shanghai. Let's see. Slugs and snails? Slugs and snails, I don't see any. Alright, so I don't see any out right now. So I've got the little block here that I can put a slug or a snail up on there to train the birds to eat that. But over here I've got a pile of these river rocks. And they just protrude up above the level of the water just enough that a flying insect, say a dragonfly or a bee, can land here and be close enough to the water that they can get a drink without getting stuck in the bird bath and drowning themselves. So it's important, if you're going to have pollinators come visit your garden, give them a place where they can get water too. Okay, I want to show you something else real quick. Look up. You see it? Right there under the eaves. You see it? Right there. It's a little bird's nest. That's right. Okay, so if you provide the water and you provide some food and you provide shelter, well, in this case, underneath this, the pump house for the well, there's a little ledge here. It's very convenient for birds to build their houses. And you know, some birds will build their own nests, and then there are some birds that will chase birds out of their nests. For example, blue jays, although they're great for eating grasshoppers, they're loud and obnoxious, and they're bullies. They'll chase other birds out of their nests and lay their own eggs in those nests that the other birds have built. But there's a way around that, and that's to let the jays build their own nests and to provide these. This is a little wren house. And it is just big enough for a small family of wrens, sparrows, finches. It's very small sparrows, not a house sparrow. House sparrow won't fit in here. This hole is 1 1/8 inch in diameter, which is just big enough for a small bird like a finch or a wren or a chickadee, but it's too big for a blue jay. So if you've got a birdhouse like this, then your finches and your chickadees and your wrens have a place where they can hide out and have their babies, but the blue jays won't be able to get in. And another advantage of having them like this is you can unhinge this portion here, get onto the inside of it, clean it out every year, right? So if there's any old nesting material or dead bird or whatever in there, you can get rid of that. Oh, also, let me turn this to this side. A little prep work that you've got to do on these before you put them to use. Let me turn this to the side so you can see. Here's the entry hole. Where's my finger? Can you see my? Okay, see my finger in there? All right. So there's the entry hole, and there's a bit of a space between that entry hole and the bottom of the birdhouse. And to make it easier for them to get in and out, you can put a little peg, little pole or something like that they can hold on to, twig, branch, what have you. That makes it easier for them to get in and out. Just a little extra help. I mean, the little babies, they need that. They need something to hold on to whenever they're climbing up. They can't just fly out. If you have this with no exit, no ladder or ramp, then the babies won't be able to get out whenever it's time for them to fly. A little information there. Here we go. Okay, once you've found a good spot for your birdhouse, you want it to be about 9 or 10 feet up. Yeah, it could be a little bit higher if you want, but 9 or 10 feet is about optimal. You want it to face the east or the south. And it helps, this is of course not the permanent mounting of this birdhouse. It's also a little bit low. It helps if you make a little L bracket that you attach to the trunk of the tree, and then you attach the birdhouse to that L bracket underneath. Don't just hang it with this strap. I'm sure they meant well, and probably they intended for this to hang freely in midair. The birds don't really like that. They like a little bit more stable place that they can have their nests. You can always build these yourselves out of lumber. Of course, lumber's kind of expensive right now. This was only 10 bucks, but I've got a way that you can have birdhouses for free. Well, virtually for free. I mean, the cost of a pack of seeds. You want to see? All right, I'll show you this way. Things have. Now, I've heard that for gourds, it helps if you give the seed coat a nick, so we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. Hey, that rhymes. Down here to this block. Just going to give that seed coat a little nick. Do that for a few of these. This the outer edge of the seed coat. You want to break that to expose the seed inside, but you don't want to damage the seed. So if you'll look, you'll see there's a couple of sutures right at the edge of where that seed coat comes together. That's where you cut in, is right where those little sutures are. So it breaks the seed coat. In this case, the seed broke too, so it was no good. All right, boy. Just a couple more. Just want to get a nick in the seed coat. You don't want to damage the seed itself. That looks good. Got 3 of them there. I'm going to do a couple more because I have no idea how good these things are going to germinate. These things could be ancient for all I know. I think I'll plant 6 altogether. Usually I plant 3 seeds, but since I don't know the age of these ones, I'm going to plant 6. There we go. A little nick in the seed coat, and that's all. And the nick in the seed coat is to help that seed escape as it's trying to germinate. Just a nick, that's all. Okay, now whenever these germinate and they come up, we'll go ahead and mulch in around them. But for right now, we're just going to soak them in. Here we go. Alright, we'll just give those a soak. And as the vines come up, I'm going to take this little piece of cattle panel here and position it leaned up against the tree there. And they can climb straight on up into the tree. Well, alright, good people. Looks like the sun's going down on me over there, so I'm out of time for the day. Hey, if you found this video informative or entertaining, you know what to do. I will catch you next time.